Hello, and welcome to our third Apple Teacher session. We're almost halfway there. We are so pleased to see some of you back for your third instalment. I hope you're progressing well with your iPad and Keynote badges. Please let us know in the RTC area on Teams if there's anything we can do to help. Welcome to our iMovie for iPad session. For those of you who don't know me, I am Ruth Burnett. I'm a primary school teacher at Bishopton Primary and an Apple Distinguished Educator. I'm also one of the facilitators from the Renfrewshire Apple Regional Training Centre. And this is Laura McAllister, who is also a facilitator and Deputy Head at Todholme Primary School. And she'll be joining me on some of the live sessions. So just to recap from last time, at the RTC, this is our main aim, and it has been lovely to bring the Apple Teacher sessions to Renfrewshire at long last. As this is our third session, I won't go into too much detail, as you probably know it already, but on the off chance anyone is here for the first time, Apple Teacher is a free professional learning programme offered by Apple that is designed to support and celebrate educators using Apple products for teaching and learning. There are modules on 6 different areas of iPad, where you take a wee quiz at the end to gain a badge. When you've got all 6, you're an Apple Teacher. The Apple Learning Centre is where all the Apple Teacher modules are held, and this should be accessed by a personal Apple ID, not linked to your Glow or work email address. You'll be sick of me saying that by now, I'm sure. As I've said before, please don't worry if you can't find the particular buttons I'm talking about today. It could be your iPad is running an older operating system. So take your time later to play around with your iPad and maybe see if it needs an update. So today we're going to be looking at iMovie. And this is an overview of the different areas we'll be looking at today. And as I said before, this is how the module in the Learning Centre is broken down too. You may have used iMovie in the past for creating movies, or it may be completely new to you. Today, I hope to share some pointers and ideas on how you can use it in your classroom, and also give you the information that you'll need in order to gain your badge in the Apple Learning Centre. The possibilities with iMovie in the classroom and across the curriculum are endless. It is a beautifully simple app that allows you and your learners to create engaging and informative movies to tell stories. These movies can then be shared in all manner of ways to reach a variety of audiences. The movies can be as simple or sophisticated as you like. They could include titles, music, and effects, all with videos and photos taken on your iPad. So let's get started and have a look at what iMovie has to offer. Magic Movie is a great place to get started. It transforms your media into a professional-looking movie, complete with titles, transitions, and a soundtrack. Once you've organised all your photos and videos into one album, let Magic Movie do the work for you. So I'm going to start a new project, and I'm going to select Magic Movies, which is the one with the magic wand. Now I have an album full of little video clips and pictures called Demo Things that I use for my Apple Teacher sessions. So I'm going to tap on that. And there's quite a lot of videos in here. So for the purpose of this demonstration, I'm just going to select a couple of videos and a couple of photographs. If you're wanting to use the whole movie, however, you could just go ahead and tap Create Magic Movie. But because I don't want it to take forever to pull things together, I'm just going to tap a couple of little films there, and then a couple of pictures too. And you'll see at the bottom, it says Create Magic Movie, 6 items selected. So if you didn't want to use the whole album, you could just select the things that you were interested in and create Magic Movie. Now, while it's processing that, there are lots of ways that you can customize your Magic Movie using the media that you have selected. And there's a variety of different styles that you can pick from. Each of these styles has preset music, titles, transitions, and graphics, so it takes those decisions out of your hands for you. So you'll see here, I have my clips, my videos, and my pictures down the left-hand side, and I can see the video that it's already created for me, my little Magic Movie. So I'm just going to click play to preview it. Now that looks great as it is. It already looks pretty nifty, but perhaps I want to use a particular style. If I go up into the top corner here, you'll see there's a little bit that looks like a film with some stars on it. I'm going to tap on that. And that allows me to customize the style that I have chosen for my Magic Movie. So there's a whole bunch of different ones. The one that's pre-selected for me is textile. I'm going to change that to sticker book. which is this one here. And you can see along the bottom as well, you can further customize that if you want, when it comes to the font, the music choice, the different colors, different filters and things as well. But for now, I am happy with that choice of style, and I'm going to click done. I can also rearrange the clips and the order that they come in within my Magic Movie. And the way that I do that is I could just tap on it and drag it up and put them in a slightly different order. I'm going to bring this guy down here and pop on there. So in my first clip, I have a title that's going to pop up, and I actually want to customize that. As default, it's going to have the name of the album, but I don't want it to be called Demo Things. So for my first one, you'll see it's got a little pencil beside it. I'm going to tap on that and I'm going to edit the clip. Now, as I get into editing the clip, I can do a whole bunch of stuff with that specific clip. I can trim it, and you'll see on the screen there that the clip, the woodland clip, has little yellow handles. So I can trim that. I can take bits off the start and the end to shorten the length of that clip. So I'm just going to drag it here, and you'll see it's just decreasing the size of it somewhat. Now here I have my title that's popped up that says Demo Things, and I want to change that. So I tap on the box and I'm just going to type in Nature Walk instead. But perhaps I don't actually like the way that title looks. I don't really want it to look like that one. I quite like that little pop of colour in the middle. Down in the bottom row, you'll see there's a whole bunch of menu options there. I am going to go for this one, that nice little pink bubble instead. And I close that. And there's a whole bunch of other menu options there to allow you to further customize your Magic Movie. I'm going to click back. And perhaps further in the Magic Movie, for a different clip, I want to add another title. So perhaps on this photo. Again, I'd click on the little pencil to edit it, edit my clip, and I can click on titles and pick one of the titles here. I click on the text button, and then I can add in whatever title that I want that specific clip to have. I'm just going to leave that for now. I've now made some tweaks to my Magic Movie, and that's not taken a lot. I've just added some titles onto it. I have changed the order around a little bit, and I've trimmed a couple of my clips. But there is so much more you could do if you wanted. But as I said earlier, you don't have to do a lot with Magic Movie for it to look pretty impressive. So I'm kind of happy with it now. So I'm going to click done. It's going to take me back to my front screen where I can preview my video. And you'll see it now has my new title. It has the song in the Magic Movie for me, and it has that rearranged order. I've used Magic Movie before to create little movies, kind of showcasing what we've been up to in class for the previous term, using a collection of video clips and photographs as well. And again, it's just a nice little thing to have either to share on social media or to share with your class community. I've also seen Magic Movie used for creating transition videos from nursery to primary and primary up to secondary, where there's a compilation of little videos and photographs as well. Magic Movie is a really great way to get started with iMovie. And as you can see, it makes things look good really easily. Storyboards in iMovie are a quick and easy way to get started when creating your most common kind of class video projects. They use pre-made templates to help guide your learners to capture the correct clips to tell their story. So we're going back to the screen again in iMovie, and you'll see the center one is storyboard. So I'm going to tap that just now. And you get a whole variety of style options to choose from. And you can see a lot of these are topics or activities that you might cover in different areas of the curriculum. And it's a really nice starting point if your learners are wanting to create a video to showcase their learning. So the one I'm going to go for today, I think, is a news report. So when I tap on that, again, I get my style options to choose from. And I think for this one, I'm going to go for studio, the one that's down here. There we go. And again, you'll see along the bottom, just a couple of customizations you can make with the tune, with the font. So now what you'll see is down the left-hand side, we have a bunch of placeholders. And these placeholders will guide your learners or yourself when you're creating a video and kind of telling you what clip should be at that particular point in the creation of the video, just like you would with a storyboard if you were creating them on paper. Well, you're going to fill the placeholders by clicking the little plus button. Just like we clicked the plus button in Keynote when we were using placeholder images, these are placeholders as well to add in specific types of clips. So you can see for a news report, it's split into different sections. We have the lead, the context, the story, some perspective, and a wrap up. And again, that's a really nice format for the kids to work to. And in order to add in their information, I'm just going to go for this one, a reference shot. And again, it suggests add footage that shows what happened or where the event took place. So for this one, I'm just going to tap plus. I'm going to select from my library. Now you could take a whole new video at that point, but I'm going to select one I already have. And I'm going to go into here. I'm just going to get a nice little shot of Edinburgh. And you'll see I've got my video that's imported into that part of the news report. Perhaps I'm not really happy with that clip being used at that point. I maybe want to save it for later in my news report. So I want to either delete that media or replace it with something else. I click the little pencil, that little pop-up menu will come up and that allows me to delete the media or replace it with something else from my camera roll. I'm just going to add in a couple of other random videos just now. Again, I click my placeholder, select from library. Now this one is quite a long clip. And I think actually for the point in my storyboard that I'm using it, it's a bit too long, so I want to edit it. So I'm going to tap on it. I'm going to click the little pencil again and edit clip. And you'll see just as before with Magic Movie, that clip has the little yellow handles around it that allows me to trim the clip that I'm editing at that moment. So you'll see it's quite long and unnecessarily long for that point in my news report. I'm going to drag those little handles, make it a good bit shorter, and I'm happy with that. Now I actually want to add a title to that to go alongside it. So I need to make sure the right clip is selected. And then I'll tap on the titles button and I'll go for this one, the sidebar title. Close that. I'm going to click on text and go for Edinburgh City Lead. Now I can go back and I'm back at my storyboard for editing and adding in more clips. If I want to preview my movie in full screen, as I'm going along, adding things, editing things, seeing how it's looking, you can see the little two arrows that are pointing out the way. I can tap that. This is obviously right. I still have my placeholders. And that allows me to preview it, see if it's flowing well, if there's things I need to change, if I maybe need to extend clips or edit clips or add in any additional information with titles. So storyboards are a really good way for learners to create videos because they have that structure there and it guides them on how to create a certain type of video. And each of the storyboards are slightly different and tailored to the video that they're creating. I'm just going to go back and show you the different types of storyboards. So you'll see there's some explanation ones there. You can use them for explanation text, products, pitches, news reports, and it allows them to showcase any learning that they're doing in topic in a different way, but it has that structure and the guidance from the storyboard to keep them right and show them what clips, what videos, what pictures they need to enter at certain points. When you're ready to move on from Magic Movie, iMovie allows a wide range of customization using your own video clips and movies to create something simple or complex. It's up to you. iMovie can be used to explain a process, report on events, tell stories, or much, much more. So let's have a look at how we do this. We're going to start a new project and we're going to tap on movie this time. Again, it takes us into our media library where we can select the clips that we want to add. Now you can go back and add more at any time or record more and add them in, that's totally fine. You don't have to have them all sorted and ready to go at the start. So I'm going to go into my demo things album again. And this time I'm going to select some clips to do with space. got a couple of videos there. And I've got a couple of pictures too. And I can click create movie at the bottom. And so I've now added my media to my project and my timeline. And you can see them all there along the bottom. Just added in the order that they are within my library. So that I can adjust, no bother. Now, maybe I actually forgot one and there's something else I would like to add. To add more media into my timeline, you can see up on the right-hand side here, I click media. I can either go into a specific album, which is what I'm going to do, or you can go into your full camera roll. Let's pop this back. And I'm going to click the little plus button in the circle. And it's going to slot it in right there. Now, the white line down the center is called the playhead. And wherever that is where the video will start playing from. And if you're editing or doing anything, that is the area that is zoning in on. So I'm going to drag my clips so the playhead is right at the start of my videos and click play to see what it looks like for now. Now, I'm already starting to think that's maybe quite a long introduction of the Earth spinning, so I might want to trim that at some point. I can move it along a little bit. And I've got a nice picture. Oh, moving into some nifty graphics. Okay, again, quite a long clip. And some nice pictures to finish off. Fab. So now that I've previewed my video, there's some editing that needs to be done. So for the purpose of these demonstrations, I don't actually have any videos that have been created by the kids in school for obvious reasons. I've found some videos on a website called Pixabay that are copyright free, and you can get a selection of graphics, of music and videos as well there that are copyright free, and you can download from them for free, which is fabulous. So I'm going to have to ask you to imagine that these are films that have been created by our learners. And as you know, when recording children and adults, the giggles can set in and forgetting what someone was about to say, and then a fleet of kids wandering past from PE in the middle of a take. So being able to move, edit and trim your videos is massively important to give a slick and well-paced finish to your movie. So let's have a look at how we do this now. So as I said before, that opening clip is just too long, so I need to trim it. As we saw with Magic Movie, we tap on the clip that we're wanting to adjust, and it gets those yellow handles around the side of it. I'm going to drag them, and that's going to shorten the length of the clip. But actually, I kind of want to start with this quite stylized one at the start of my space video. And I'm going to put some titles over the top as well. So first of all, I'm going to trim it, make it a little bit shorter. And when I tap on it, you can see that that's sitting at around 10 seconds. That might need trimmed a bit later on. That's okay. But I want that at the start. So I hold down, you can see it pops out of the timeline, and I can move it to the very start. And that's just changing the order again. Very similar to how we did it with our Magic Movie as well. Now, actually, looking through it, I've got my lovely one of the Earth rotating here, and this one of the Earth as well. I don't think I need both. So I'm going to tap that one, and then I can either click the delete button in the bottom right-hand corner, or I can just tap it and drag it out of the timeline and drag it off and it's gone. Being able to trim precisely sometimes is a really useful thing. So in order to really trim your videos, just to highlight specific parts that you want to get rid of, you kind of zoom in, and you do that by pinching open to trim precisely. So what that means is I'm going to use my two fingers and I'm going to pinch open like this. And you'll see that the clips in themselves look like they're getting bigger. Now, we're not actually extending their length. What that's allowing us to do is just really trimming specific parts of the video. So at this point, I'm just trimming off tiny little bits off the edge now, because I've really zoomed in for precision trimming. Now, perhaps the bit that we want to cut out is right in the middle of the clip. That's annoying, because we can't just trim from the ends as we've been doing so far. So what we need to do is we need to split that clip in the middle to cut that little bit out. So say in the middle of this clip, this is when we have our fleet of children coming back from PE, and the kids who were recording their video have had to pause and stop and wait for them to go past. They decided not to bother pausing the video, that's fine, because they know that they can edit that bit out later. But the disturbance is right in the center of that clip. So we move our playhead to roughly where it is, and you can see I'm moving my clip back and forward so I can kind of gauge where it is. I tap on it, Make sure it's got those yellow handles. And you'll see at the bottom, I've got a button that says split. When I tap that, wherever the playhead is, it's going to split that clip into 2 parts. And then what I can do is I can just trim the disturbance out, or the bit that I'm not happy with, out of the clip from there. Now, perhaps your learners have created some wonderful video, but unfortunately the background noise is just too much. And what they actually want to do is they want to strip that out, they want to strip the audio off the clip and add either a voiceover or some music to go alongside the video instead. So let's see how we would go about doing that. Now, the examples that I have here just now have no audio, so I'm going to add something in from my media library. Go back into my folder. And for those of you in Bishopton, you will be familiar with this chap. He lives in our library. So let me just play the clip for you. The telltale sounds of a primary school hard at work. So we want to get rid of that audio. I tap on my clip and you'll see again, it's got the yellow handles around it. So we know that that is what we're about to edit. And we can either adjust the volume, completely muting it, or we can lower it. You'll see down at the bottom, I have a button that says volume. I tap on that and I can make it quieter, or I can turn it off altogether. So I'm just going to turn it completely off because for this video, I'm actually going to add some music on top later on. So now when I play it, the audio is completely gone. Editing your movies allows you to remove pauses, extra phrases, distractions, errors, all the sorts of things that happen all the time in a primary school when they're trying to create videos. And by allowing them to edit their videos, it allows them to have a slicker finished product. Rearranging the sequence of your video clips can make it more engaging. Perhaps splitting up longer clips into smaller sections will give you a faster paced movie. And there's lots of ways that you can use iMovie to create your own movies in the classroom. Learners could use this to showcase their work from the year. They could have talk to camera pieces explaining their work and how they have progressed on their targets throughout the year. And you can also use iMovie to demonstrate how people's voice is heard in your classrooms. Record the big questions at the start of a topic and create a movie with evidence from your investigations to go alongside it at the end. What a great way to demonstrate learning with the children right at the centre. As we learned with transitions in Keynote last week, they are used to visually blend between one thing and another. In this case, clips. In iMovie, we can think about the transitions we use to keep the movie flowing, indicate a passage of time, or introduce a new topic. Now, iMovie will automatically choose the dissolve option for your transitions. So let's see how we would change that. You can see here, when I go back between my clips, it dissolves between one photo to the next. But to change that, I tap on the little transition button here, and you'll see that there's a bunch of different transitions I can choose from. Let's see, preview what that looks like. And I can change the length of the transition as well. And if I want to add a sound effect to go alongside the transition, I can click the sound effects button on or off. Now that's a way to change individual transitions. However, you can make changes to the project as a whole. And the way that you would do that is click the little wheel up here. And you'll see that I can add a bunch of changes to the project as a whole rather than individual clips or individual transitions. So perhaps I want to add a filter across the whole movie. Or perhaps I want to pick a theme. The news one is always really popular for news reports. Or I want to have my movie fade in from black and fade out to black as well. So these settings that I'm changing will apply to the whole project rather than specific clips or specific photos. As you'll see now, all of my clips have that comic book filter applied. I'm just going to turn that off just now. As we learned previously with Keynote, when modifying transitions, they should help to tell the story, not distract from it. Now, when photos are added to a project, iMovie applies the Ken Burns effect, which you might have noticed already when we've looked at these photos. The Ken Burns effect is a smooth pan and zoom motion. And this can be customized to tell your story. So it reveals important details or zooms in on particular parts of an image. So I already have some pictures, but I'm going to add in an extra one right here. And I'm going to go keep with my space theme. I'm going to go for this one and click plus. And if I go back to the start of it and I click play, you can see the pan and zoom there. You see, when I select my photo, I get some options for customizing the Ken Burns effect on the screen. If I go to the start, I pinch to show where I want the photo to start. And then I click the other one, the other little arrow, and I can pinch to show where I want it to end. So perhaps I want it to start on one particular point of the photo and then zoom in to a specific detail within it. So now I'll go back to it, back to the start. And you'll see that it's going from where I asked it to start right to where I asked it to finish. And again, I can lengthen my clip if I want to as well, to make the Ken Burns effect even more effective. However, sometimes you don't want that. You just want the photo to show up. In that case, we click on the clip and we can just turn the Ken Burns effect off. The Ken Burns effect is a really useful tool when you're adding photos to your movie. It allows you to focus attention on specific details and zoom in on what's being described before moving on to the next clip or the photo. Adding titles to your movie, whether it's a video clip or a photo, can be used to introduce a topic, a person, or add extra information or context to what is appearing on the screen. So let's see how we add titles. I'm going to pop this picture of the Earth here right at the top, because I think that's going to be a really strong opening image for my movie. And I'm going to add a title. The way that I do that, I select my clip. Remember, it's got those yellow handles on it, and down at the bottom, I'm going to tap the titles button. And you can see there's a whole array of different titles you can choose. And I quite like this one. And you can see it pops over my clip. And I tap on it, I click edit, and I can enter some text. So give it a little bit of a title there. I can also edit the font and the color of my title. And so you can see above my title selection, there's the little A's. That's where I can edit the font. And you can also see that there's a color wheel as well, so that I can change the color of my title. Let's go for that. Now, if I go back to the start of my film, you can see that title has been applied to my clip. Now, because there's so many different types of titles that you can add to your iMovie, you can use them for different functions when you're creating your video. If you're in a clip and there's a title on it and you want to remove it, you tap on your clip again and go for none. And that will remove it. Easy as that. I'm just going to add mine back on for now by using my back arrow. Titles are a great way to add just a little bit more detail to your movie. So you can use them to pop up along the bottom if you're interviewing people in your movie, give more detail on specific objects or locations. And it also engages the viewer by adding extra information and giving a little bit of context to your movie. Now, in iMovie, overlays can be used to give your movies a professional flair and create dynamic and engaging visuals. You can use them to combine video and audio from different clips, or have two clips together in a split screen effect. So let's have a look at how we do that. Let's try split screen first. So I'm going to go right to the end of my movie that I'm creating here. And I am going to have pick my first video. And what I want is I want a split screen of autumn and winter. So I'm going to go into my videos. And here I have my winter video. I'm going to click that. Now this is going to be my first clip. I'm just going to trim it because it's quite long. And I'm going to take the playhead and scroll it right to the start of that clip again. And now I want to find my second clip, the one that's going to split screen with. So I make sure my playhead is at the start of the first clip, and I go back into my media browser. And here I have, it's probably more spring than autumn. So I tap on it, and I don't click add yet. I'm going to click the three little dots. And then the option I'm going to choose is split screen. Now I want to trim my bottom clip so it's the same length as my top clip. I'll just drag it so it matches. So let's go back to the start of the clip and see how that looks. It's a really effective split screen effect. Now if I tap on the top clip again, you'll see that some options pop up on the preview screen, and that allows me to change how I view the split screen effect. So if I click the little arrows, I can change the order of the clips, and I can change whether it's a horizontal or vertical split screen. I can also add in a line between them. Now, perhaps my first clip, my winter clip, has a really nice audio that goes alongside it. And what I want to do is I want to keep that audio, but I want to layer on top of that audio my spring summer video. So this is how I'd go about doing that. I tap on my top clip, down to where it says overlays, and I'm going to change it to being cutaway. And what that's done is it has basically put our second clip on top of our first clip, completely obscuring it apart from any audio that's associated with the first clip. So overlays are one way to enhance your movies. Another is with audio. Music, sound effects, and narration can make your videos more exciting, add information, and set the tone of your project. So let's see how we would go about adding a voiceover. Here we have our clip. So what I want to do is I want to add a kind of introduction to a news broadcast in space over this clip. So I put my playhead to the start of the clip. You'll see underneath the preview window, there is a little microphone button. I'm going to tap that and it brings up my recording options. You can see that it's moving, showing me that my microphone is working. And when I click record, it's going to give me a 3-second countdown. Welcome to today's news from space. Now I can review it, see what it sounds like. Welcome to today's news from space. I guess that'll do. And if I'm happy with it, I can click accept. Now that recording is a clip in itself, so I can move that throughout my movie. I can have it where it is just now, or I can drag it and I can slightly shift at the point it will be in that clip, or move it to a completely different clip if I like. You can record voiceovers in little chunks and then shuffle them about as you like, or you can do very similar to how we did with the clips earlier, and you can split it into chunks and move those chunks about with your movie so that they match up with the clips of your choice. When you click the audio waveform button over here on the right hand side, it allows you to see the sound waves from all of your audio recordings or anything that you import into your project. I'm going to zoom in by using my 2 fingers to pinch out. And you can see where the quieter parts of my clips are. And what that allows you to do is it allows you to trim bits out or to elevate the volume at specific parts. So if I tap on my clip and I want to get rid of that bit at the end, I can trim it like this using the handles as before, or you can split and trim bits out of the center as well. It just allows that extra layer of customization of your video. Now within iMovie, there's also a bunch of audio that's ready there waiting for you to add. So I want to add some music now, and I'm going to go into my media browser and click on audio, into soundtracks, and you'll see there's a bunch of tunes waiting for me there already. And this is great because it kind of gets you around that copyright issue using commercial tunes. You tap on it to get a little preview. I'm going to go for this guy. Okay. And I'm going to go back to the start of my film and then click plus. And you'll see that tune has been dropped in to run all the way along the length of my movie. I can trim it if I want to, or I can have different tunes for different sections of my film using the same editing tools that we've used before by dragging the little handles. The music auto adjusts to the length of the movie, which is really handy. So perhaps I also want to add in a sound effect, maybe to go alongside my news report. So I'm going to go to the end of where my narration was, and I'm going to go into sound effects. And I think there's one down here that says news today. I'm going to click tap plus, and you'll see that waveform, that audio has been added into my timeline for my movie. Automatically lowers its volume while the sound effect is happening, which is really clever. Once the sound effect is in, I can move it or trim it. So I can take that little bit off the end if I want to. And maybe I want to have that happening over here. And then my voiceover happening right over the top there. So let's have a little look. Welcome to today's news from space. So adding audio to your video can really elevate the information within. You can add audio narration to photos by recording the voiceover to tell the story happening as the photos play, or add sound effects to instructional videos, either through collecting environmental sounds or perhaps even app smashing with GarageBand for a cross-curricular approach. Cinematic effects can be used in iMovie to give your movie a little finesse. Perhaps there are parts that need extra emphasis by slowing them down a little bit. Perhaps you could use freeze frames to draw even more attention, or giving the movie a filter to create a particular mood. So let's have a look at these effects. Perhaps there's a clip that we want to speed up or slow down a little bit. What we do here is we tap on the clip, and you'll see at the bottom you get a little speedometer. We're going to tap on that, and you can see that you can either speed it up or you can slow it down, and that will change the length of the clip in your timeline. So let's just go for speeding it up for now. But I don't want the whole clip to speed up, only a certain section. So you'll see that we've got those yellow handles again within the clip. So I can just drag them and adjust the area of my clip that's going to have the speed effect added to it. And let's really ramp it up so you can see the effect. Now, if I go back to the beginning and press play, for that little fraction of the clip, it speeds up dramatically and then it goes back to its normal speed. Now, maybe we want to freeze frame a particular part of our clip. We work out where we want to freeze frame. So maybe about here. Yeah, maybe about here. And again, I tap on it. And this time I click the button that says freeze. And again, I've got those handles, and that's going to adjust the area for the freeze frame. And how long the freeze frame will last for. So let's go back to about here. And I'm just going to turn that volume off for the moment of the background music, because it can get a little bit irritating. And let's just have a little look and see what our freeze frame looks like. I'm going to speed up a little bit. So there's just a couple of examples of how you can adjust the speed within your clips in order to draw attention to something using freeze frame, or perhaps to speed something up. If, for example, if you're filmed a long process, speeding through it quickly will keep your viewers engaged for longer. For example, a science experiment or setting up of an event. Now, for the last iMovie trick, we're going to look at green screen or blue screen too, either works. And blue is particularly handy at this time of year when there's lots of Christmassy things happening, and lots of Christmassy things are red and green. So combining clips with green screen is a simple but extremely effective tool in the classroom. So let's see how it works. So in this green screen example, we're going to make something a little festive snow globe. So in my demo things folder, I have one of those snow globes that you can like slot a little picture in, and you'll see it's got blue card inside it. And the reason for that is loads of Christmassy stuff is green, as I said before. So first of all, we're going to need to add in our background clip. And this is going to be whatever goes inside the snow globe. So it could be pictures of your kids dancing about, it could be them dressed up as elves, whatever. For our example, I'm going to use my woodland scene again. So we'll go into here. It's a very long clip, so I'm just going to trim it a lot. I'm going to go back to the start of the clip. That's my background scene. And then I'm going to go and add my snow globe. And we're just going to add this one here. I'm going to click the three little dots and then tap green, blue screen. And you'll see that the green screen effect does its magic. And now we have our winter wonderland inside our snow globe. Once you have your green screen effect on, you can tap on the clip and adjust the strength of it using the slider. You can also trim the area covered by the green screen using the little dotted box. And this is particularly helpful if you have an actual green screen, but your kids have a habit of maybe like wandering off the side of it. You can trim those areas out of your movie so that it's not dead obvious that there's just a big massive green screen there. Again, it just gives it that slicker finish. Now I'm pretty happy with that. I've seen green screen used in some fantastic ways across the curriculum. You could use it where your students create the illustrations for backdrops of their movies that they're in. I've also seen people do things with green Play-Doh or put a little bit of green card into a magnifying glass, and then they use that to show different images behind it. There's limitless options. Once you've created your movie, it is time to share it with the world or your school community, whatever works. Videos from iMovie can be shared on a variety of platforms, and this is how you do it. So we'll click done. Here's my project. I should probably name it. I can share my movie using screen mirroring by turning that on in the iPad control center. I can't show you that just now, unfortunately, because I'm already doing screen mirroring within this film. But I can share my movie using the share button, which is the box with the arrow coming out of it. And you can see when I click options, there's a whole variety of different resolutions there. And that depends on how it is you're wanting to share it. The higher the resolution, the bigger the file and the better the quality. But sometimes that means you'll have restrictions on how and where you can upload that video. I'm just going to click done for just now. And click save video. So what it's doing just now is it's exporting the movie as a film, and it's going to save that to my photos. I can then take that file and upload it onto Seesaw or into your OneDrive, or I can send it via AirDrop to other devices. Perhaps though I want to share my project rather than the movie so that someone else can edit it, or that I can do it as a collaborative piece. If I want to share the project for editing, again, I press my share button. But this time up in options, you'll see I can change it from video to project. And when I share it as a project, it sends it as an iMovie file so that someone else can go in and edit the clips and make changes to the project that I have created. That is everything we wanted to show you for today. There are lots of other tricks with iMovie, but this is a great start, and I hope you can see the wide variety of uses across the curriculum with this app. It's definitely worth playing around with. I wanted to get the iMovie session done before the Christmas craziness kicks in, as I thought it might be handy to have some movie making tricks in your toolkit for the festive season. While we're here, I wanted to give you all a sneak peek of something we've been working on here at the RTC, and it kicks off tomorrow, or Thursday the 30th. I know that's a holiday, so you'll all probably still be in your pajamas or in Bray Head getting your Christmas shopping done. But as educators who have made the decision to learn more about the different ways you can use iPads in your classroom, our 12 days of iPad Christmas will hopefully be right up your street. In fact, day one, tomorrow, uses those good old markup tools. So here's the teaser now. There are another 3 sessions like this one, and only one more before we have a break over the festive season. We hope you will join us for the future workshops. As I've said before, we have created the RTC space on Teams where we share information on upcoming courses offered by ourselves or Education Scotland and share resources we find that we think would be helpful. Please join us in Teams and please share any queries or questions that you have in there too, and we will do our best to answer them. As before, there's a QR code on your screen for a feedback survey. If you could complete it, we'd be very grateful so we can shape and tailor our RTC courses for you. Thank you for your time today and please share those badges when you get them. Bye-bye.